This is Curse of the Cuckold. They plotted against me and have used AI to take down my podcast. If you want it explained, you're not listening in order, go back to the last episode and find out, because Ricky is going to do a continuation of this ultimate betrayal. Ricky, your clock starts now.
Okay, so in the spirit of repurposing, Paulo, let me just state that this is already an award-winning campaign, because when we did have this feedback session and had to present to the powers that be, this one came up tops. I want a 500 Rand Take-A-Lot voucher. Halal it to me. So prepare to be blown away. I chose KFC. I did some research and found out that they're bringing the KFC Dunked Crunch Master back for a limited time only. So what I did was, with the help of AI, I asked for a really cool campaign that was out there, that was different, that was innovative, that's going to blow people's minds, and that's got a bit of talkability. I also asked for it to tack on a stunt or an activation. So what we came up with together, myself and AI, was called the KFC Crunch Swap. So pretty much it's a WhatsApp voice note entry mechanism. Listeners call in or send a voice note. And then, because Dunk Crunch Masters are so in demand, everyone loves them. Food isn't just sustenance, it's social currency. We want to know from listeners what they would trade for a Dunked Crunch Master. So the presenters would then get them on air, have a listen to some voice notes, call their favorite, and award them with KFC vouchers, merchandise, a trophy, a badge, grand prize draw of $10,000 at the end of it all, or a year's supply of KFC. But I want to read you the promo, because I think this puts everything in perspective. It says, what's your crunch worth? South Africa, we've got a question for you. What's your Crunch Master worth? Your ex's hoodie, your last $20, your dignity. KFC's Dunk Crunch Master's back, bold, saucy, and crunchier than ever. And we're not just giving it away. You got to trade for it. Call in or send a voice note with your wildest offer. If it's good enough, you'll win free KFC for a month and maybe even $10,000 cash. Boom. But I'm not done. I know the clock's finished. So that's the campaign on air pretty much, which I thought was pretty dope. In terms of an activation was pretty much setting up at malls, campuses, taxi ranks. You set up like a trade market. We've got a whole bunch of KFC Dunked Crunch Masters, and you're inviting people obviously on air. First, they get down there, they bring their cuck. What are you going to swap us live there on the spot? And we'll hook you up with a burger or do some cool stuff as well, like spikes, which I won't get into. But I thought that was a pretty good idea. And guess what? So did everybody else. Boom.
Can I tell you guys something? So both your ideas here, right?
Oh, we're in trouble, Ricky.
And no, I'm going to make a point here. Firstly, I understand now why, because you guys you got Take-A-Lot vouchers, which, I mean, I really think people do a lot for Take-A-Lot vouchers these days. So, take that as a note. There's this fear of going, AI is going to take our jobs. I got to tell you guys, both of you have given me ideas generated by AI, and in the context, don't think now suddenly Ultimate Media are going to spit out everything AI generated concepts. So our objective is very different. Your own ideas you guys come up with week after week on this podcast are way better than either of the ideas you guys have pitched. What you guys have given the last 2 weeks, I've got to be honest, sound like they're not like the stuff we come up with. They're like generative, interpretive, pulling from a whole bunch of generic types of things, and they don't have the magic.
Objection, Your Honor.
Your concepts normally have. I got to be very honest about that.
Objection. I don't think you would have known if we hadn't told you, Paulo.
I would have, because I can tell when we do this, right? I can tell when you guys have put together a AI concept for the show, or you've come up with yourself, or you've done a hybrid. I can tell it straight away, because I know you guys well enough. And I know when your personality's in a concept, and I know when it's just got, oh shit, we're recording in 5 minutes, I need a concept.
But this was a hybrid. This was a team effort, though. So it wasn't just about typing some cuck into AI and asking it to spew some stuff out. This took us a while to actually get and refine and fine-tune an idea. But it's fine. What are you going to do?
Look, Ricky, you don't get a Take-A-Lot voucher from me. I will give you a park, though. because I just can't bring myself to giving it a full flight. Nick, what are you thinking about that idea?
I mean, I've heard it in a different sense. So I have to say flight because I was gushing over it at one point. Yeah, so definitely. But I do think like from a, and Paulo, you're 100% right from an AI perspective. It's not about using AI directly and going, give me an idea. Like, I think like the lesson maybe, we take from these kind of situations and from the growth in AI in every single industry is going, you're 100% right. AI is not going to take your job, but the people who understand how to use AI, which again does take some time, will take your job. That's for me, my final word on that.
So I think the lesson here is right. So we know that there are a lot of radio creatives listening to this podcast. I get feedback from them all the time, and yes, we're all using it. We're all using chat or Copilot or whatever you're using to come up with concepts. But I ultimately think the proof in the pudding on all of this is, does it translate to air and does a listener resonate? Because I think that's the one thing that we aren't quite there yet of going, what is going to be the reception of these concepts? So I think, as you do that, and I think this is what I'm going to figure out, like when you put stuff to air, that's where the real proof in the pudding is. Because it's one thing going, right, here's the client's brief, here's what we're doing, here's the pitch deck, and it goes, okay, well, taking into account all these things, but there's an intangible quality of how a listener responds to something that I don't quite know we're predicting yet. And listen, us as radio creatives have never been able to predict this, but that's where we kind of go, okay, I take this kind of good sense that I have that goes like, this looks great because it ticks all the boxes I need to tick, but does a listener give a shit? And I think ultimately that's what is going to be our test. And I've got to tell you guys, as the sample of your listener, I'm very upset. I'm changing stations. I'm listening to podcasts. This is Curse of the Creative.